Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel, Tara Talks Books, where we talk everything bookish. So today I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up. I did end up reading 5 books this month, 3 on audiobook, 1 physical, and 1 on digital. I did read 1 psychological fiction, 1 fantasy, and 3 romance. 2 were contemporary romance, and 1 was sci-fi paranormal romance. So if you want to see what I read this month, just keep watching. The first one I read is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I did read this one on audiobook, and it is part of my 24 in 2024. And this one is a story, that follows Vanessa, and it goes between past and present timelines. The past, you see how Vanessa is groomed by her high school English teacher. And in the present, you see Vanessa reevaluate that relationship and grapple with the reality that it was, in fact, abuse. And it goes from there. This was a really hard read to read because it dealt with darker topics, obviously. I did read it pretty quickly, though, because I just wanted to see how it wrapped up. And I do think it was well written, and it showed how much Vanessa's life was affected by the manipulation, grooming, and sexual abuse she endured. It really portrayed how stuck or stifled Vanessa's life became due to the abuse. So I did end up giving this one a 4-star overall. I do think this is an impactful read if you do choose to read it. The next book I read is American Werewolf in Space by Alicia Sunderland. This was the sci-fi paranormal romance, and I did listen to it on audiobook. I did end up giving this one a 3-star, and I ended up reading it because of the Beam Me Up book club, and they were reading this for their April pick, so I decided to go and follow along with them. This follows Jack, who is a wolf shifter, and she's abducted by aliens. She is imprisoned on the ship but escapes and kills her captors, only to find another alien prisoner, General Attends, who ends up being her mate. And it goes from there. This one, I do want to mention, has a cliffhanger at the end, so you're aware of that going into it. I was not. I thought it was going to be wrapped up in one, but it does go on to another book. This was an action-packed book. I enjoyed Jack, who was the female main character. I liked that she was strong and kind of kicked butt, and she was a possessive wolf shifter, so that was a fun aspect to it. I also enjoyed the other female prisoners that she befriended on board the spaceship, so I enjoyed that. I also liked that this was a new take on an alien romance, because not only were they abducted, she's also a wolf shifter, so I thought that was a cool and unique aspect of the book. And the tropes in this one are fated mates. So if you enjoy sci-fi paranormal romance, I definitely check this one out. The next one I have is Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. This is a fantasy with a romantic element, but I feel the romance part is very minimal. So I did end up reading this one for my 24 in 2024, and I did end up giving this one a 4-star. So this one follows Wallace, who's picked up from his own funeral by a reaper and taken to Charon's Crossing, which is a tea shop where ghosts go to cross over. However, Wallace is not ready to leave the world of the living and his barely lived life. He is given a week to cross over. He tries to live a lifetime in 7 days, and that's kind of how the story progresses. So Wallace was a very hard to like character, a bit of a curmudgeon in the beginning. I enjoyed seeing him change throughout the book. This book deals with topics of death, grief, and acceptance, and I think it did it in more of a lighter tone because of the backdrop of the tea shop, and there are some fun side characters that kind of make it lighter in a sense. So I did really enjoy that aspect. I loved the idea of the tea shop and the ferryman and even the reaper all working together to help ghosts cross over. I thought that was a fun aspect to the book. This came off slower paced, but I felt it was written that way because Wallace was coming to terms with his death and not feeling fulfilled like a life well lived. So he was trying to come to terms that like he wasn't going to have a second chance. And so I did enjoy that aspect. This does have a romance, but it is very slow burn. Again, I loved the side characters. There There are two other ghosts within the story that are like main side characters, and one is Nelson, and he's really funny and he can be like definitely comedic relief. And then there's another a dog ghost in this as well that I really loved. So definitely check this one out. This is another one of TJ Klune's that I've enjoyed. I've now read 2 by him and have really enjoyed his writing. So I will continue with his backlist. The next one I have is The Royal Assignment, and this one actually has 3 authors. So it's Terrence Gray, Aaron Day, and Ian Thake. And this was actually just an Audible original that I had downloaded a while ago, and it was just sitting in my Audible library, so I figured I'd give it a go. So it was read through audiobook, and it is a contemporary romance. And I did end up giving this one a 2.5 star, but I did round it up to a 3 on Goodreads. So this follows Maggie, and she's a writer at a magazine, but has yet to get a decent story assignment. However, she gets a career-making interview, but it's with the Crown Prince of Barrymore, which is like a made-up country. He is a long ago friend that she never wanted to see again because they had like a falling out. This was a rom-com that kind of fell flat for me. It was a graphic audio, which normally I enjoy, but it was a bit much on this one. There was like music between scenes that I was just like, I didn't think needed to be added. And then there was like some extra like just noise that I was like, I don't think we really need all this. And I have read graphic audio before and have enjoyed it, but I just think this one was a little bit over the top. I liked the premise that they were childhood friends and the royal aspect because he is a prince. That is actually what drew me in because I do like royal books. The tropes in this one are childhood friends to lovers as well as a bit of hate to love. The next one I read is Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. This one is a contemporary romance, and I gave this one a 4 star. I did end up reading this one because it was the Swoony Readers book club pick for the month of April. So this follows Farley, an up-and-coming stand-up comedian, and her manager Meyer, who was a former comedian. They've been friends for years, but Farley gets an opportunity to go on a tour with some other famous comedians. So to like drum up some publicity, they get this idea to fake date, and it goes from there. So the story does go from past to present. I enjoyed the aspect that she is a comedian. I hadn't read a book where the female main character is a comedian, so I thought that was unique. I also liked the relationship between Farley and Meyer's daughter. Meyer's daughter was deaf, and Farley already knew ASL, so she was able to communicate with her. So I thought that was a unique aspect to the book. And she was really good about helping Meyer with her and like advocating for her. So what kind of knocked it down a star for me was the fake dating didn't last very long because they were pining for each other for so long that it just kind of felt like it was like one and done, like one page and it was over. And in fake dating, I like it to last a little bit longer and maybe be a little bit more like tension. But the tropes in this one are obviously single dad, age gap because Farley is a little bit younger, friends to lovers, fake dating, as well as mutual pining. So overall, this was a good one and definitely one to check out if you enjoy those tropes. So those are all the books that I read during the month of April. Let me know if you read any of them and your thoughts below. I'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. Bye.